Hello everyone! Today it is my pleasure to introduce you to DGBA's off-season tour, the third installment of Counter Team Format Tournament. This video is meant to be a short introduction to the format and a mini tutorial on how to play. Counter Team Format is pretty simple. It has a couple key rules, being each draft has 6 Pokemon. We introduce ban phases to restrict draftable Pokemon. Only one Pokemon per team is allowed to Terra, and there's a list of Pokemon that will be shown later on showing which Pokemon are Terra banned. And you'll have a different team every single time you play. Here's just this little sample draft there, showing 6 drafted Pokemon per side, each having their own Terra captain, along with 10 Pokemon banned there by the players at the bottom. Next up, we're going to have a quick step-by-step explaining each phase that the draft will include. Step 1. Both players meet to begin the draft. Step 2. Each player is randomly slotted in either the left or right side. Step 3. The ban phase begins with players banning in a snake draft order until 6 Pokemon are banned. Then, Step 4. The first picking phase begins. Players now picking Pokemon in a snake draft order until 6 Pokemon are now picked. Step 5 is the second and final banning phase, with each player now banning 2 Pokemon for a grand total of 10 Pokemon banned. Then Step 6, this is the final picking phase. Each players will now pick again 3 more Pokemon, so each side will have a total of 6 Pokemon. Then the last step there, each player will then pick a Pokemon to terrestrialize. After following these steps, the players will build a team for the matchup and play it out. Yay. Here, we have a quick little mock draft I'm going to show you, with some extra little instructions there on the left side of the screen. And on the right, you can see the matchup board with some numbers to indicate the order of the draft. Player 1 bans first, and they will ban Meowscarada here. Then player 2 gets to ban 2 Pokemon, and they ban Torntea and Deoxys Speed. Player 1 then bans 2 Pokemon, banning Dragonite and Gouging Fire. Then player 2, banning last, bans Kyurem. Then on to the first picking phase. Player 1 here gets to pick. They pick Garchomp. Player 2 now picks twice. They pick Latios and Rotom Wash. Player 1 now gets to pick again, picking Metagross and Thundurus Therian. Player 2 then picks Cinderace, ending the first picking phase. Then we move on to the second ban phase, starting with player 2 picking Iron Bundle. Then player 1 bans 2 Pokemon, Weavile and Zapdos. Then player 2 banning the final Pokemon, Chi-Yu. Player 1 then gets to start the final picking phase. They pick Greninja. Player 2 picks Tinglu and Corviknight. Player 1 then gets to pick 2 again, picking Zarude and Terapagos. Then, picking the last Pokemon, player 2 picks Ogerpon Wellspring. Last thing to do, since this is Gen 9, is to select Terra Pokemon. Player 2 picks their Pokemon, it being Cinderace this time. Player 1 now goes to ban. They picked Garchomp, and that is not allowed. We have a little list of banned Pokemon just to balance the format a little bit, shown here on the screen. I'm just going to leave it up there for a second so you can take a look at it, pause if you need to. Now that player 1 knows what Pokemon they cannot Terra, they choose to Terra Zarude instead, completing the draft. Next, just to explain how players are matched up, the first part of the tour will be a pools phase starting May 24th, where players will be put into pools of 4 players, with the top 2 players of each pool advancing to the bracket. The bracket begins June 7th, ends June 9th, lasting Friday until Sunday. Then the round of 16 will go from June 10th to the 13th. That's a Monday to Thursday. Quarterfinals will then be the 14th to the 16th, Friday until Sunday. Semifinals then 17th to the 20th, Monday to Thursday. And finals will be that last weekend, the 21st to the 23rd. So, Mark your calendars, and we at DGBA Council will see you for our third counter team format tournament.